Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, a follow-up on that 999 that just arrived. As you can see, it's in fairly poor condition. Not damage, just missing parts and really, really bad storage for a very, very long time. This is all water damage, as you can see. And the lens is missing, but I can replace that in a matter of 5 minutes with some 5-minute epoxy. The front and rear truck is missing as well. Anyway, I bought this for the motor. I saw it on eBay, made the guy an offer on it, $8. He accepted. And of course, when I took it out of the box, dead as a proverbial hammer. And I had to clean the contactor, completely oil the motor, of course. This thing was in just dreadful condition. Had been stored for a long, long time. Years and years and years without running. Anyway, I got it lubed and tuned, resoldered the main contactor, installed a light bulb, and the locomotive is up and running forward and reverse, and actually running quite well, as you can see. So was it worth the $8? You tell me. All right, this is going to be its first run on the rail. Let's see how this will pull. A Lionel consist. We'll take this around and see how we do. All right, we are ready to run on rail number 2, Marx 999, eBay $8, up and running. Let's see how we go. All right, there's 50% power. As you can see, that is running really, really well. No problems of any kind. That's running really well. All right, let's stop it. Take it around reverse. All right, so no problems with this locomotive at all. So what I'm going to do with it, I have no idea. I will very likely put a lens in it, but like I said, I bought this just to get the motor out of it. I've got a Canadian Pacific body that this motor would drop into, so that's probably what I'm going to do with this. Anyway, a bit of judicious cleaning, some oiling. I can touch up the paint, just a bit of ink marker and some motor oil, and this locomotive would actually look quite good. First, it needs a good thorough bath. It is just absolutely filthy, as you can see. But I can put a lens in it with 5-minute epoxy. It'll only take 5 minutes, about 10 minutes actually. And then touch up the paint, you have a good running 999. And as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. This was on eBay, didn't sell, of course, and no one wanted it because it was just beat to death. So I made the guy an offer, $8. He accepted. Here it is, and in less than 20 minutes, this locomotive was up and running. And a few drops of oil, had to resolder the main contactor. That's it. I did have to straighten out the coupler. It looks like the locomotive had been dropped. The motor was knocked out of position, and when I saw it, I was going to buy it just for parts, and I thought I could probably scavenge the motor. And now that it's here, even missing the trucks, you could get this cleaned up and run it with no problem at all. Like I said, a bit of ink marker and some 30-weight motor oil on this paint. This thing would actually look quite good. The numbers are intact. There's no damage to it. There's no bends or breaks or kinks or dents in the shell itself, so it was definitely worth the $8. There's no doubt about that. And then a few drops of oil, resoldered the connection to the main contactor, installed a light bulb, and this is the result. This locomotive is running just absolutely splendidly, as you can see. E-unit works, so it was definitely worth the $8. So this just reinforces everything I say. Don't overlook the junk. This was bottom of the barrel junk. There's no doubt about that. And a few minutes of my time and a few drops of oil and a couple of drops of solder, this locomotive is up and running. And actually running really, really well. So I'll get the shell cleaned up. Whether I'm going to leave the motor in this shell or not, I have no idea. But in most cases, you can't buy the 999 shell for $8. In this case, you have a complete, that being a relative term, locomotive. It's missing the front rear trucks. It's also missing the lens. Even so, it's running, and it only took a few minutes to do that. And that's the whole idea. You can set up an entire layout of these old junk trains. As long as they run good and you can clean them up and make them look nice, what more do you need? Anyway, $8 on eBay, made the guy an offer. Here it is, and this locomotive is running just absolutely splendidly. Forward and reverse, as you can see. I've got that sound of power mechanical tinder on there. So running forward and reverse just absolutely perfectly. As you can see, this thing's running really, really well. Now, this probably has not run in 40 years, 50 years. It's been a long time this thing has been sitting. But it's up and running. So what I'm going to do with it, I have no idea. But for $8, I couldn't pass it up. Even if I used it for parts, it's worth more than $8. And in this case, you have a full running locomotive. It took a grand total of about 10-15 minutes to repair it. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.